Hello, and today I'm going to talk about the US intervention in the Afghanistan War. Here's the overall synopsis of the US intervention in the Afghanistan War. The US has intervened in the War of Afghanistan since 2001, and it's still ongoing today. The two main forces against Afghanistan were the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. The two main forces that helped and intervened with Afghanistan were the United States and the United Kingdom. Osama bin Laden was the leader of Al-Qaeda, George W. Bush for the US, Mohammed Over for the Taliban, and Ashraf Ghani for Afghanistan. 9/11, as well as all the other terrorism created by Al-Qaeda and the Taliban, were factors that led to the US intervention in the War of Afghanistan. Here's the overall quick summary of the main events. Al-Qaeda and the Taliban Sanction Committee were created in 1999 by the UN Security Council. Al-Qaeda attacked the US on September 11, 2001, and about a month after the so-called 9/11 attack, the US invasion of Afghanistan started by starting a bombing campaign against the Taliban forces. Obama has been adding US forces and coming up with plans in the Afghanistan war to fight against the Taliban and Al-Qaeda, who have both been committing terrorism on Al-Qaeda in all different ways, and most recently, the US and Taliban have made peace talks. As of now, the US neither won nor lost the Afghanistan war because we are still fighting in it as of 2020. Here are some of the images. The first one is an actual image, and it depicts, in general, the US Army is trying to intervene in the Afghanistan war. The other two images are political cartoons. The first political cartoon shows as of 2017, one of the plans of the Afghanistan war was developed by Trump. Americans were following Donald Trump's plan of the Afghanistan war. Donald Trump had a different Afghanistan policy than that of the other leaders. The other political cartoon shows the depiction of the change in the Afghanistan war from 2001 to 2017. And now, as of 2017, Donald Trump had a different Afghanistan policy than that of the other leaders. And here are the justifications showing that it was necessary for the US to intervene. First of all, George W. Bush blamed the 9/11 attacks on Osama bin Laden and wanted the Taliban to hand over Osama bin Laden and expel Al-Qaeda. And this was because the Al-Qaeda terrorist group attacked the US on September 11, 2001, and it was very harmful to the US. Another reason is that George W. Bush does not tolerate any governments killing the good people, so he says that people who kill innocent people deserve to be punished. The US also needed to be involved in the Afghanistan war to stop Al-Qaeda and the Taliban from terrorism on Afghanistan and the US, because Al-Qaeda and Taliban have been letting the terrorist camps run on, and George W. Bush must stop the Al-Qaeda network and destroy those camps. And because Afghanistan has similar practices as those of the United States and both do not commit terrorism, the US had to intervene in the Afghanistan war to stop the terrorist groups from attacking on Afghanistan and the US. So was the military intervention justified? Yes. I agree with George W. Bush because of the terrorism committed by the Al-Qaeda and the Taliban, which included the 9/11 attacks, the terrorist camps, and so on, and that both the US and Afghanistan are against terrorism. Therefore, it was highly necessary for the US to intervene in the Afghanistan war to stop terrorism from Al-Qaeda and the Taliban.